the origin of these 10 technological creations. Social media. In 1970s Berkeley, a group of friends interested in computers set out to create a community bulletin board system. They came up with the idea of using a mainframe computer linked to others throughout the community, thus creating an information flea market. It was slow, using 110 baud modems that worked at 10 characters per second, but people could use it to share information much like today's social media. A user would tag a keyword for others to search for, and members could share messages about anything, from the Beatles to where to buy the best bagels. Reading messages was free, and posting them cost a quarter. Electric cars. Electric cars are widely viewed as a modern invention, but actually they are around 200 years old. In the early 1800s, a number of inventors all around the world were creating crude, small-scale electric cars. The first practical vehicles were built around the mid-19th century in France and England, and the first successful electric car to hit the US was in 1890. It was a 6-passenger automobile that could travel at approximately 23 kilometers per hour. During that decade, electric vehicles were outselling gasoline cars 10-1. They were considered superior to gas-powered cars, which were more difficult to drive since they required changing gears. Plus, you had to start them with a hand crank. Electric cars, though, were not without their faults. Since electrical sources were confined to cities, so were the cars that needed them. This became even more problematic as US infrastructure improved. Suddenly, people wanted to take trips in their cars. Texas crude oil was soon discovered, and gas became cheap and easy to come by. The final death blow to the electric car was Henry Ford's assembly line, which made his gas-powered automobiles less than half the price of electric cars. Further innovations replaced the cumbersome hand crank with the electric starter, and by 1935, electric vehicles were a thing of the past. Until today, that is. Vending machines. Vending machines are believed to have been invented in the early 1800s. The invention soon caught on, and over the decades it has provided mankind with convenient items like snacks and drinks. In some places, like Japan, you can find toy cars, t-shirts, and even cooked crabs in public vending machines. However, the first vending machine was actually invented between 215 BC and 100 AD by Greek mathematician and engineer Hero of Alexandria. The purpose of this first vending machine was to dispense holy water in the temples of Egypt. The device worked in the same way as a modern vending machine. Worshippers would put coins in the top, and it would dispense a measured amount of holy water for washing. At the end of the day, the machine would be emptied of coins and topped off with blessed water. Plastic surgery. The first known nose job took place in the Old Kingdom of Egypt around 3,000 years ago. After he passed away, Ramses II underwent a crude form of plastic surgery. A small bone and a handful of seeds were inserted into his nose, so the pharaoh could be recognized in the afterlife. Ancient Egyptian plastic surgery was generally limited to the dead, and it was only later that reconstructive plastic surgery would be used on the living. In the 6th century BC, ancient Indians repaired damage to the nose and ears by cutting skin from the cheek or forehead and sewing it over the damaged areas. This method is called forehead flap rhinoplasty, and the procedure involved stretching the skin over a leaf, then reattaching it over the wound. The secret of this surgery was kept hidden for centuries, and the procedure was generally used to repair noses or ears lost due to warfare or punishment. Nowadays, modern forms of the procedure are still used for a variety of plastic surgeries. Vaping. Vaping might be enjoying a boom in popularity right now, but the practice has been around for thousands of years. The History of Herodotus, a book from the 5th century BC, records an account of ancient Scythians throwing hemp seeds on hot stones to vaporize them, prompting more than a few shouts of joy. This early form wouldn't be recognized by modern vapors, but the first real vaporizer was invented in the 1500s. You probably know it better as a hookah. It's believed that the hookah was invented in India, though some believe it originated in Persia. Regardless of origin, the first hookahs were simpler than modern ones, and they were made from coconuts with a bamboo tube used as a hose. Modern-day vaporizers were invented in 2003 thanks to a Chinese pharmacist whose father had died of lung cancer. But this device was based on an e-cigarette design from 1960. In turn, that was based on an even older nicotine vaporizer patented in 1927. Unfortunately, this particular device received little attention because smoking was still popular at the time, and its health risks were unknown. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more Top Truths content. In the meantime, feel free to take a look at our other videos here.